What's up? Utah Valley weekend is in the books, and I am so excited to recap it with you because it's one that I will never ever forget. The emotion that went into this weekend, the grit, the perseverance, the resilience, the lessons learned are something that just lasts a lifetime. And so I'm excited to be able to share that with you and that we actually got those moments documented because there's something that I want to relive again and again and again. This last weekend, we started off, we wanted to make it special. For those of you that have ran your very first marathon, it's typically an experience that's unforgettable, but we wanted to make it something just big and extraordinary. And so we planned out the 3 days of the weekend with different wellness activities to make it fun. So we started off on Thursday and we went to Flow House, which is this really cool sauna, ice bath, contrast therapy place. And they make it pretty special of an experience. Like you walk in, they have the lights, they have music, the vibes there are insane. And so we go in, and it's not just a sauna and an ice bath, they actually do a lot of guided practice. So we get in there, we have probably 30 of us that are going to run the Utah Valley Marathon, and they're walking us through some stretches, they're opening up our hips and getting us loose, ready to go run the marathon. And then we all just started getting hyped and doing some clapping and getting everybody just stoked for this weekend, right? And then after that, we got in the cold water. They walked us through a meditation practice where we could envision and focus our energy into what we wanted to happen over the weekend. And then we came back, bonded, and made relationships that will last a lifetime, and it was super fun.
All right, Mr. Brock, this is going to be your third sub 3. Am I right?
Yep. No, I'm excited. This year has been one full of wins so far. We've ran a 100-miler, we've done a high rocks and 60 miles, and now we're going to go sub 3. And it's a lot of preparation and years that has gone into this. It's amazing to me to see my body be able to recover as fast as it has and now be able to hold the miles and the strength that my body's able to do. And so I'm excited to see, just what I can do here come Utah Valley and to be able to run it with people. I got Tanner and Max coming right along with me, so it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited. Kate Cam, pacing your wife for her first half marathon. How you feeling?
We're going to get it. She's locked in, she's been preparing, and it's going to be so fun to run with her. I'm excited to see her triumph, do that hard thing. And just recently I shared on the podcast, she had just done her 11-mile run, her last long run, training for the marathon. And the funny thing is, she didn't think about this, but she went and ran the same trail that she did 8 years prior. And she had gone with a friend, and they were just running 1 mile. And about like halfway through, she gets to this corner and she gave up. She said, I quit, I can't do this. And now 8 years later, last long run, she comes around that same corner and she just did 11 miles. So she's in, she's ready. It's gonna be fun for her and I to cross the line and have Ember see us finish. It's gonna be a super cool experience, so really excited. On the spot, you're doing your first marathon. What's your thoughts before?
Dude, I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm nervous, but I don't know. Last year I never thought I would do a half marathon, and I freaking killed it. So I'm sure the same thing will happen this year. I'm excited. I know I can do hard things. I'm excited.
Let's get it. 2 nights before the marathon, what's running through your head?
I can do it. That's as simple as that. It's like we prepared. You and Brock have given us instruction and I've lived everything, and I can do it. I have zero doubt.
Let's go.
So
Hayes in the barn.
Yeah, I'm excited.
2 nights before the marathon, you just ran your first 4 mile confidently. How long ago would you say?
Oh, dude. I couldn't even run a mile in October. I was almost 300 pounds. Dude, I'm down 60 pounds, and I'm running a full marathon on Saturday. Dude.
What's your thoughts?
I'm ready. I'm amped. I'm jazzed. I did 20 miles 2 weeks ago, and I could go 6 more.
Let's go.
So I'm stoked, dude.
Let's get it.
And after that, then comes Friday, right? Now it's the day before the race. People are starting to get nervous. Their bellies are starting to, get a little bit queasy. You get those phantom injuries, and I'm getting lots of texts like, hey, what happens if I'm feeling this way? And, you're calming nerves. But we had a shakeout run. We are here at the shakeout run. We're about to get after it. We got Kelsey wearing Toon Squad, looking hot. We're just gonna do a quick 2 miles. We got the squad showing up here in just a sec. It's gonna be awesome. I've been so excited about this all day. And so here we are, ready to go. All right, guys. I got everybody some shirts. Welcome to our shakeout run. I'm excited for tomorrow. proud of all the work you've put in?
Yeah.
So if you're running, I got shirts for everyone running the marathon. Sizes do matter. Whatever you told me is whatever you got. There's a large.
Yeah.
Here you go, brother.
Thank you so much.
We want to give a big shout out to Roan for supplying the shirts. They're the best. They always follow through for us. Corey got a large. Here you go.
Thank you, brother.
Logan.
Double fat.
Hey, check this one. Check this one. It's a little bit different.
Look at this.
Oh yeah. Oh baby.
Look at that.
Oh baby. Don't forget the dad bods, baby.
No way.
Thanks, bro.
That one's
Don't leave him hanging. Don't leave him hanging, Brock.
So at the shakeout run, we had all the guys, we did some stretches, we opened up the body, we got it ready and loose. We ran 2 miles and it was really fun because, you know, there's just something different when you're connecting while you're running because it just opens up your heart to connect on a deeper level, even if you don't know these people. Like some of them were complete strangers and by the end of it, you know, we're having these very deep conversations and it's cool to watch that happen and the transformation take place right before your eyes. Then we go to the convention center. Everyone's getting all excited. They're trying all the different things at the booths and getting all their gear ready, getting our numbers. 74-71.
What is it?
74-71.
Oh, you're not the same number as us. You're not going to be our time.
I'm full marathon.
Oh, that's right. Because I was like, mine's that one.
We ready. Oh, we ready. We ready. Oh, y'all. Check it out. Utah Valley, baby, 2025.
I don't mean to be dramatic. It's on. It's on. You're live.
I'm ready for carbs.
Garlic bread, please.
I don't want to do the body scan because I'm full of carbs, electrolytes, and water. I probably gained 10 pounds this week.
Don't do the body scan. Don't do it.
Logan's lost 60 pounds. Not anymore.
It's all back. It's all back.
I'm pumped to carb load.
I'm ready for some garlic bread.
Alex loves a good carb load.
This is the moment Alex trains for. Is this moment?
I'm carb loading like I'm running tomorrow.
Hey,
This is the
so
moment.
you know, your training starts when my training starts. And we're in this together. We're almost there. It was so cool. I walk in and immediately Logan just holds up his number and he says, I have it. This is my weekend. I'm so ready. And it was just so cool to see the excitement on his face because, you know, it's his first marathon and it's something that was 8 months in the making. For a lot of these guys, it wasn't just running or completing a marathon. There was so much more to it because what we work on within our community is really creating transformation from the inside out. Like it's not just the physical that matters. We create transformation on the inside first. So it's a lot of emotional triumphs that have come into this, a lot of family triumphs that have come into this, and then a lot of physical triumphs that have come into this. Because my goal when working with people is to be able to first resolve the inner world, which then is reflected in the external world, and we create an environment that is conducive to learning and to growth. And that's what you could see is what these guys experienced was an environment where they could finally be the rocket ship and blast off the way they wanted to be the man that they were proud of. And it was cool to watch that right before my eyes, right? We had about 15 people running this marathon. Some of them, it was their first time. Some of them had been there before and were trying to go sub 3. Either way, they were feeling the energy and momentum and achieved things they'd never done before. So we all go get dinner, which is really fun, just connecting, and then race day happens. Good morning. It is 2:45 a.m. and I'll tell you what, I'm juiced for this marathon. This marathon has like 8 months of prep into it. Not necessarily for my time, but just to do it here with all the guys. We've been thinking, planning, plotting, preparing, and so I'm excited. And Kelsey's excited. She's going to cross the finish line today too. It's going to be amazing. And so I'm all lubed up. I put Body Glide basically in every crack and crevice. And so now I'm ready to go. Let's go. Hayes in the barn, baby. Let's go. 4:30 in the morning. Everyone's on their phone, right? They're just sending voice messages to our group message. It's race day. Let's go. You know, everyone's just screaming, stoked, getting on the bus. I think Logan woke up at about I think he was on the bus by 3:30 because he was so nervous about the race. And he goes, I'm just barely leaving to go drive to the buses. And Logan says, I'm at the top. It was super funny. What's the goal here?
Okay, the goal is to go sub 3. So we're averaging like a 6:40 mile down the canyon. Hopefully we can shave some time off on the downhill. And yeah, get done under 3 hours.
So we're just sitting around a campfire. You got to sit up there for about an hour just waiting for the race to start. And, you know, as we're up there, I'm just giving them tips, telling them what the course is going to be like, what they're going to experience, maybe some mindset hacks, some last-minute things. The hay was in the barn at that point. They already knew what they were doing, but, you know, just to put the nail in the coffin. We all kind of lined up. They have pacers at the beginning of a race, which tells you at what time you're planning on finishing. And so at that point, we split off, and it was time, right? I'm standing there at the beginning of the race. They start funneling you in, and it's go time. And I'm getting mentally prepared, right? I got Max and I got Tanner next to me because they're trying to go sub 3 with me. And then Tanner and all the rest of the guys were going to go at their pace. And so the race starts, okay? And the way this course works is at the beginning you get a slight downhill, but it pretty much feels like it's flat. Then at about mile 6, you hit what's called the Three Sisters, where you have about 2 to 3 miles of hills that are just rolling, okay? And then you get in the canyon and you run down to about mile 20 of downhill, which is really nice. And then you come out of the canyon and it's flat for the rest of the way. My plan originally is to go sub 3, you got to run about a 6:40 pace. So in the first few miles, you got to be hitting about 6:30s. Because you're trying to bank time for when you hit the Three Sisters, so that way when you're there you can slow down a little bit and not gas your legs. So I was hitting my 6:30s, and then when I hit the hills I was going to the 7s. But as we started, I'm right there with Max, and I noticed Max's stomach, he starts looking like he's getting sick. And turns out he was hanging with us for the first 5 to 6 miles, and then he had to hit about every porta potty for the rest of the marathon. So now you got me and Tanner's still trucking along, but I started to see him kind of fall back, but he's holding pace really well for the sub 3. But I was feeling so good. And so I start taking off, and I'm now going probably 6s to a 6:15 mile through the first little bit. I hit the Three Sisters, and without even blowing up, my heart rate didn't even go above 150 at that point. I was hitting about 6:30 miles through there. I was feeling incredible. I was ready to go, and the body was just functioning like a machine. And it was my first race ever taking caffeine, so that may have made a difference, and it felt great. So that was kind of fun too to kind of experiment with. But I get down. Now on the downhills, I was able to hit about a 5:56 pace. I hold that throughout the canyon. I wasn't at a 5:50 on the big downhills, but where it got flat, I was able to average probably a 6:20 throughout the rest of the canyon, which was really good, really strong. As I come out of the canyon, we hit the flat. I held 6:30s the rest of the way. Ended up finishing the marathon at a 2:48, taking second place in my age group.
And the Orms say well done. More marathoners. That's Ty Nelson out of Harriman. Isaac Miller out of Orem. Brock Painter out of Riverton. Nicely done.
Mission accomplished, baby. Sub 250. We didn't plan on a PR today, but I about tied last year. And feel good, honestly. I felt very strong. That race was one of my funner marathons. Usually it's like seeing death all the time, but it felt good, felt strong. So, let's go. Let's go. Their timer's off. I started mine right as the race started. I finished at a 2:48.27, averaged a 6:24 pace. That said, I finished at a 2:58. There's no way. I started it right as the timer went, so. I Boston qualified, baby, and I got enough cush that I think I'm going. Last year I made it and I forgot to sign up. This year I'm not making that mistake twice. Feeling it now. But honestly, this race wasn't about me because there were so many other people involved that it was amazing to be able to see. Like as I come out of the canyon, I see some of the people that I trained running the half marathon, you know, like my wife and Cam and Caitlin, who it was their first half. I see Tyson, I see Kelsey's mom and her sister, and or my brother-in-law, Brendan, and it's just so fun as everyone's cheering each other on and as I'm running past them, and just to, feel that energy of everybody overcoming something super difficult. So they all finished, and I got to watch every single person come across that finish line. And I got to see the emotion of them just doing something hard, because one thing that I love about races is what they do for you is they create an undeniable stack of evidence that you are who you say you are. One thing that I often say to myself is if somebody couldn't turn down the volume on my life and know exactly who I am, then I didn't live right. And so what those races do is they give you those moments where you truly are who you say you are. And it's something that no one can ever take from you, because those moments can only be earned through grit, through hard work and sacrifice. They cannot be paid for. They cannot be given. You cannot buy those moments. And that's what makes them special, is I got to see each and every single one of them feel that confidence inside themselves. To watch Logan and Tyson and Robert and Corey all come across that finish line, it's just these three burly men with big beards. And they all have their kids and their wives and their whole family crossing that finish line. And just seeing tears roll down their faces and the pride that they had in themselves in that moment is just a moment that can never be taken. And then, we had another guy, his name was Tanner, across the finish line, sub 3. And, seeing him really show himself what he was made of.
But according to that clock was wrong. Oh, I know. So, but he came through at 8:59, right at 8:59. Tanner.
Dude, that's sub 3. Yeah, he did it. And that's awesome. Good for him. Let's go, baby. Look, second place in the division, baby. Second place, we podiumed. Let's do a medium. Okay. Thank you. Boston Qualifier 2025. Let's go. You got 255?
No, I got 258.
Dude, that's such a good time. We just got Tanner, sub 3. Let's freaking go. How do you feel, dude?
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Yeah.
How was it? What was it like out there?
It was crazy. Beginning of the race, honestly pretty tough. My stomach was just feeling it. And Brock kind of went ahead of me. I didn't see Cam, so I was just kind of by myself. And then took some gels, hit mile probably 14, 15. Had to stop and go to the bathroom. And then from there, it just game on.
It was a rocket ship, baby.
I saw the sub 3 guy, and I was like, dude, I gotta catch him. I saw him in his bright orange up ahead, and as soon as I passed him, I knew I can go sub 3.
Love it.
There's just something special about race day, because it's always interesting to me that the first question you get asked when you run a race is why. But honestly, there really isn't a good answer that's going to make sense to someone who doesn't understand why you would do that. Because there's a million reasons why not. It can hurt your body, it's hard, it's difficult, it's uncomfortable. And the only reason why you would is because you want to show yourself what you're made of. And that's the moment that we wait for. And it's a beautiful moment. So that meant the world to me. And I think to the guys as well, as watching them cross their finish line, watching the family see them differently, seeing their daughters, seeing their sons, watch them accomplish something hard. And seeing that over and over and over again was so cool. And then after that, we finished up. We all went and had a barbecue that night and told our war stories, cooked some hamburgers, and watched, everyone waddle their way on in. And it was just awesome. One of the things that I watched with all these men and women is they took time away from their family to go train and to take care of themselves, which often can feel selfish, right? Why are you not spending the time with your wife and kids and family? And the reason why, to me, is because you get to come back somebody new, somebody whole. And those lessons that you get to then give to your family were things that did not exist before. And when you find that part of yourself that is so deep inside of you, that then they have an example worth following. I think it's easy to spend time and to be with them physically, but you're not there emotionally, spiritually, or physically, and you don't have the availability that you wish you did. And what these moments give to you is that availability to really give of yourself, especially when they can't give to themselves. Yeah, it's always so interesting to me, and I understand why, that training is selfish, or taking care of yourself can be vain, right? But here's what I believe. You cannot give what you do not have. And if you don't have it, then you cannot give it. If you do not know how to receive love, then it's a really hard time giving love to other people. And if you do not know how to receive health, then it's really hard to be an example of health to those who care about you. And the thing about health that's interesting is that it's the last thing that matters until it's the only thing that matters. And so if it doesn't matter to you now, you're not going to have it when you need it. And that's the beautiful part of going out and training and taking care of yourself, is because when you're emotionally stable, then you can give stability to your family. When you're physically at peace with yourself and you're physically healthy, then you have the energy to be able to give to them when they need it. And that applies to everything. You cannot give what you do not have. And so if you have not trained it, it will not be there, which is where it's important to take that time for yourself, to go and train and work those muscles. Because often you think, oh, okay, when I have a kid, I'm not going to act this way anymore. Once I get a wife, then I'm not going to have this anger, or I'm not going to have this anxiety or depression. But honestly, what those often are is they're untrained parts of our body, and they're signals of things that have not been helped. And so often when we're struggling with anxiety, depression, anger issues, whatever it is that's going on in your life, right? A lot of times those are not the meat and the potatoes of something to be dealt with, right? They're not the thing to be eaten. What really is to be worked on it's the smell. It's the signal to your body that something is amiss. And if we have not trained our body and our minds to recognize that and to become aware of those moments, then we do not have that availability to help someone else in those moments or really sit with them in their darkness. And so when we take the time to truly understand them, to work that muscle, and to grow the skill set and tools to be able to work with those, then all of a sudden we become the powerful being that we're meant to where we can start to help other people do the same. I love these guys with all my heart. And everybody that was a part of this weekend, it's something I will never forget.
So this is kind of crazy sitting here the day after the Utah Valley Marathon, when I spent 8 months training for it. From the time in October when Brock and I were going over kind of where I was at financially, where I was at with my job at the time, where I was at with my own personal brand through social media, and where I was at with the Dad Bods and Beards brand and the podcast and everything we're doing. And I just felt very stuck. I felt very stagnant, and I felt like I had all these big dreams and aspirations and all this stuff I wanted to do. And of course, Brock gives me some other big thing to add to my plate. And at the time I was like jazzed, because you can't not be like fired up when you're talking to Brock. But I won't lie, in the back of my mind, I was like, how the heck am I, a guy who can't even run a mile, going to be marathon ready in 8 months on top of everything else that I'm trying to do? But Brock saw something in me, as he always does, is that he sees my capability of doing more and being better and being great, even when I don't see it in myself. And he told me, he's like, Logan, you don't do things or get things done until you have absolutely no time left but to start them now. And I had to start the marathon training then, or I wasn't going to be ready in June. And I can't argue with him, because I hung on his every word. I did everything he told me to do. I followed the training guide like it was a Bible. And now we're sitting here 8 months later. We got it done. And the funny thing is, when we signed up for that, the goal was that I was going to run the marathon on June 7th, but June 6th was going to be my last day working my full-time job. So the goal was going to be, a few weeks prior to June 6th, giving my 2-week notice at my full-time job, and to be going full bore into content creation and the podcast and everything like that. Circumstances changed a little bit in January, and I went full-time with content creation and the podcast in January. But had I not had the 3 months prior of the mindset training that that's what was going to be happening in June, I wouldn't have been ready. And that allowed me the time I needed to be training as intensely as I needed to be. And it gave me the mindset and the determination and the self-love and the self-awareness that nothing was going to happen unless I made it happen myself. So it has been its own battle. It has been its own journey. Not everything has been easy. It's been the exact opposite. This has been the hardest 8 months of my life. But I have done things I've never done before, and I'm doing things I've always wanted to do. So this guy completed a marathon, and I've got a special place up on that wall that all of this is going, and I cannot thank Brock and Cam and Neuromastery enough for not only helping me save my life through my physical fitness, but helping me change my mind and my mindset and my determination and how I look at myself and what I feel like I am worthy of. So I'm just full of gratitude right now. And I ran a freaking marathon.
What's up, guys? Parker Anderson here. Just finished the Utah Valley Marathon. 3 quick takeaways for me. Number 1, my first marathon, I kind of just looked up an online training thing, trained for about a month and a half. I was able to beat my PR by over 30 minutes, and I think a massive reason for that is because I hired Neuromastery and obviously followed their training regimen religiously, and it helped a ton. I was able to finish sub 4, where my first marathon I did like 4:25 or something like that. Second thing, I didn't have a goal going into today, but I had one of my friends who pushed me. He's like, you might as well go for 4, sub 4, which I had never had a single training run where I had less than an average 10-minute pace. And I finished with like an 8-minute 54 pace, something like that. What that taught me is the power of the mind. What you focus on, you get. And then the third thing is a really interesting takeaway for me. Obviously the last 6 miles were brutal, absolutely brutal. But as soon as you finish the race, the pain's over, and that pain is replaced with accomplishment. And I'm just way grateful that I was able to go through that. And so I think there's a lot of, parallels in that in life. So often when we're going through something, whether it's running or some other hard trial, it feels like impossible, which, to be totally honest, those last 6 miles did feel a little impossible for me. But as soon as they were over, right? I'm glad I pushed through it. So time to get in the cold plunge, recover, and appreciate it.
So post Utah Valley race thoughts. It's the day after. A little sore, nothing too bad. My first run actually at this type of elevation in the mountains. I got to meet some amazing people. I got to run with some amazing men down a mountain for 26.2 miles. Breathing was a little bit of an issue. Nothing too crazy. The weather was perfect. Compared to running in Florida, I would take this 7 days of the week. I loved it. Logan did great. Corey did great. Tyson did great. Brock, all his buddies, did great. I'm looking forward to the next one. The bonds we built, the way we suffered together, and we're going to be brothers for life.
What's up, guys? My name is Tanner Davis, and my goal was to go sub 3. I honestly didn't know if I would be able to. I did a training run with Brock, and just kind of crashed out around miles 11, 12 of our run, and I was like, what is going on? I don't know if I can do this come race day. But kind of figured out, okay, I need to make sure I'm hydrated. I need to make sure I'm, taking gels during the race. So I'm like, I'm just going to send it and go for it. Come race day, I was able to, start off pretty strong and keep a good pace. There was a couple of hills where I slowed down a little bit, and then really tried to stay focused on just keeping my pace, staying hydrated, and then taking gels, making sure I got my nutrients in, my electrolytes. And I didn't hit that same wall that I did on the training run. I was able to kind of keep pushing through it. Plus the atmosphere of the race was just awesome. Tons of people cheering and everything. By about mile 20, 21, the bottom of the canyon, I finally caught up to the 3-hour pacer for the race. And when I passed him, dude, I've been trying to catch you all the race. He's like, you got this, keep going. So I pushed ahead of him. All I knew is I just had to keep going, stay in front of him. That last 5-6 mile stretch, able to push it out. It was awesome, great atmosphere, thousands of people cheering, and just barely beat a sub 3 hour. I got about 2:59. So super happy, first marathon ever. I'm super grateful for Brock and the Neuromastery crew for helping me out. So yeah, awesome experience.
So I ran a marathon today. The hardest thing I've ever done, physically, mentally, emotionally. To get texts from everybody that I knew along the way, telling me that I was doing great and that I was gonna finish, and they were proud of me. And then crossing the finish line, seeing my family, and seeing Brock and Cam there, you know, all I could think was that I did it, and nobody can take that from me. And you know, I've struggled with confidence my whole life, but I feel like I'm on top of the world right now. I think this is the first time I can genuinely say that any reservation that I am proud of myself and that I accomplished something almost impossible. So I feel great, and I'm so grateful for Brock and Cam and everybody in the crew for being there and cheering me along and supporting me along the way.
And if you want to come along for the ride, please comment below and we'll be in touch, because there's more events coming up. We're going to be doing more things like this. Like and subscribe. We're going bigger, we're going better, and we want you to be a part of the journey. So we'll see you there. We'll see you next week, and I'm excited for what's to come. Let's go.